All right, welcome back to another episode of the All American Hoops Podcast, episode 110. I'm Chris Driscoll. Joining me, as per usual, is my younger brother Matt Driscoll.
It's always a pleasure. Excited to pod this week. First time ever repping. No, not first time ever repping merch, but first time ever repping the AH sweatshirt on the pod.
This
So
merch, yeah,
good
love
vibes
to
for
see it.
this app.
Yeah, appreciate that. Love that for sure. Matt, it's been a while since we on Thursdays we used to do your weekly dinner review. We haven't done that in a while, so I figured we don't have a lot to talk about tonight. Why not kill time with um when I kill time with explaining the dinner you cooked for us tonight.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a while, and since I don't want to toot my own horn, but since we stopped talking about my dinners, they have been a little bit better than they
Have been.
were in the past. Ever since the chili debacle from a couple months ago. But today I made some teriyaki chicken over rice with some onion, bell pepper, and broccoli mixed in. Just on a sheet pan, made the rice separate and mixed everything together. It was pretty good, I would say.
It was
Um,
very good.
I,
Yeah.
I I would rank it in the middle of my dinners recently. I would give it like a 6.5, 7 out of 10.
I think you're lowballing yourself. I would definitely give it like a 7, 8, maybe like a
All right.
maybe bump it up to the eights, depending on the depending on how you might depending on what your metrics are. But
I will say
um,
our dinners have been stepped up the past couple weeks.
they have been,
The
yeah.
the s- the, the Driscoll boys have been stepping up.
Well, not me. Last Monday, it was we were in middle of snow, so only thing we had in the house was the what the hell did I make? I made like the pork tenderloin, which is
Oh yeah,
yeah,
but the
yeah,
week before was the
it was the Hello Fresh, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, that was a very good meal. Yeah, and
not sponsored, but shout out HelloFresh.
not
If
sponsored.
they want to sponsor us, they should.
I'm sure they would, because it feels like every other podcast sponsors them. So they sponsor every other podcast. So if anyone from HelloFresh is watching this, feel free to tune in. So anyway, we'll do our birthdays right now, and this is one of the more interesting birthday. Actually, it's not interesting at all. I should say. Actually, it's probably one of the more least stacked ones I've ever seen. Not ever for the past 10 episodes that we've done this. So the best one here, hands down, Marcus Saul. And then after that, Greg Ballard is second in win shares. I think he was born in 1955, so I don't know. I guess he played in like the early 70s, maybe. I know, like late 70s, early 80s. And then third in win shares is actually Maxi Kleber, who he's still in the Lakers. I think he is. Whatever he's doing. And Matt, the baseball one, the only one that I was familiar with is the 2020 AL MVP. Do you remember who that was?
2020 AL MVP. Was he an Astro or a White Sox?
He was an I believe he retired as a White Sox, but I believe he was an Astro at the time, if I'm not mistaken, or it could be reversed.
I
It
don't
might be
want
reversed. I
to.
think it's
I don't want
reversed.
to say Grandal, but that's wrong.
No, not
I
Grandal.
know the 2020 MVP was actually sent down to the minors the next year. I'm just forgetting who it was.
He was a first baseman, I believe. Yeah, first baseman DH. It looks like.
Or an Astros. Who was it?
So he was a White Sox. He retired as an Astro. It was Jose Abreu, actually.
Jose Abreu. Yeah, he got sent down the
I
year
forgot
or
about
2 years after. And we were talking about how weird baseball is, that you can be the MVP one year, then in the minors the next.
baseball is very weird for sure. And football, Matt, if I'm being honest, I opened it up. I sorted it under all pros. I sorted it under WAV, which I'm pretty sure is like it's not like war to baseball, but it's essentially like it's kind of like war, but like it's like a mixture of war and WRC plus, to where like you're valuing a player's career based on that. I had no idea who anyone was. I even sorted it by 2025 like firsts. I knew no one. So if any of you 9 people that are watching now, or whoever watches it later, knows of any NFL players, or if you're offended that I didn't mention your favorite football player and you know their birthday, I apologize. But when I'm telling you, I have zero idea who any of these football players were. Like there are some players, there's some times where I look weeks, I'm like, okay, I've heard of this guy, maybe I'll mention him. No, I don't know any of these guys. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. So that's on a birthday. Yeah. So shout
Let me
out.
do a quick Google.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Go. Yeah, you could definitely go ahead.
Do you just go on Football Reference?
That's what. Well, yeah, I usually just look up NFL birthdays.
Rodrigo
today,
Blankenship.
Who the hell is that?
He's the kicker that wears the rest specs. He was on
that
the
is?
Colts. Yeah, and then he was on I don't know, but he's a free agent now. He makes TikToks.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I figured that would happen. But
Cammy Fairborn is the Texans kicker right now too.
is he really?
Happy birthday! Happy birthday
Yeah.
to him.
Yeah. I'm not really too familiar with my kickers, I guess.
That's it.
Um.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then again, I'm not much worse than Joe Shane, apparently. As far as it goes for memorizing kickers. Yeah. Um. So. All right. So. Yeah. John can't be with us tonight. Yeah. Yeah. He's out celebrating a work accomplishment. So we're very happy for him there.
Yeah,
But
John's too busy boozing to pod tonight. Um,
yeah, and he's
so
also
we'll speak to him,
yeah,
offline.
no, yeah. Apparently too busy to shoot me a text beforehand because actually he's had to find out from mom that it was that he actually wasn't coming on, not from him. So but that's okay though. Yeah. So yeah, we got a decent show ahead of us. Yeah, like yeah, I feel like the NBA is very reliant, very reliable, I should say, not reliant, is very reliable to the sense of every week if you don't know what to talk about, there's gonna be some news that comes up like a couple days later, and there's been two, not even big pieces of news. There's been like two, I guess, just like two big talking, two big headlines, I should say, because they're not big. Like I wouldn't say either of these two pieces are big news, but the first one we'll talk about is Giannis. Yesterday, Shams reported. I'll read the tweet directly out loud. Before I say this, I'll just say it straight up. I'm not the biggest Shams guy. I think that I, ju- I think he stirs the pot a little more than Woj does, which is great for the drama. It's great for like the league and clicks and everything. But I definitely appreciated Woj's game more to where he really only reported things when things were like extremely credible and like he knew for sure that they would be true. Um, but yesterday, Shams tweeted, two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo is ready for a new home at the February 5th NBA trade deadline. Sorry, let me say it slower again. So, two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo is ready for a new home at the February 5th NBA trade deadline, or he made sure this part was small, or in the offseason as several rival teams make aggressive offers to the Milwaukee Bucks for him, and the franchise is starting to listen. Leak sources tell ESPN. So obviously, all the replies is all caps. It's like most of them are saying, um, like, oh, here we go, about damn time. Wow. Of course, the edits of Giannis in a Golden State jersey. Let's go, let's get it done. So, no, Playoff Kings also replied with this graphic. Here we go, playoff time as well. Yep, shut up, possible chairs or ox from player's choice as well. Do I know any other Kings fans outside the two of them? I don't like not think I know any of them, but
Jack Swozey from my boy from Loyola claimed the Kings when they were the 3 seed, but now all of a sudden he is not a Kings fan anymore. So I
yeah.
do not know any other
I
Kings
saw
fans.
like a video yesterday. It was I don't know if you saw this too. It was like a dog, and it was like a dog taking a nap. And then someone poured like Dr. Pepper into his mouth, and then he like tasted it, and his like mood completely changed. They're like, oh yeah, he's gonna remember the taste of the rest of his life. Someone said, oh yeah, that was like the 2023 Kings, which is a very accurate description. You got like a little good taste of soda, like it felt great, but then you just nothing else happened after that. But yeah, I
Sorry.
believe I'm still on.
Yeah, you're still on. I was frozen, I think. I don't think it
Okay,
was
I think we both were because like it said no one in there for a second, but yeah, but
oh, okay.
the timer's still on. So so I think we're good. Yeah, we were talking about the Kings and the soda for that. We got off track for a second there, yeah, and yeah, I'll give my opinion first, and you can. Yeah, I'm sure yeah, I know you're gonna agree with a lot of it, and you can add on to it too. But this seems like a, I don't want to say a big nothing burger, but I just don't see much added value to the initial story. Like we heard, I believe it was like December 3rd. I want to say it was a Wednesday that like that news came out about Giannis, and I went on NBA Max with Tony Jalen Ori, and I'm sorry to disrespect him, like I can't remember his name, the backup center from the Bucks. We went on and talked about Giannis and potential trade packages. But then I believe it was either that night or like a couple of days later where he strained his calf and he was out for a few weeks after that. And and then he came back. Nothing really happened, and then last week he gets out of the shower and then says, "Oh yeah, okay, oh yeah, I'm gonna be out 4 to 6 weeks," and he's the one that announced it, not even the coach or like a training staff or even just a report from Shams. And then Shams to come out and tweet saying like, "Oh yeah, by the way, Giannis is going to get traded." So again, like this could mean that just trade talks are heating up, but I just don't think I don't think this was a new story by any stretch of the means. Like obviously, it's getting some talks back up. I believe the trade deadline is 1 week from today. I forgot to mention that part. The trade deadline is 1 week from today. So obviously, trades are going to get heated up, especially when Giannis was originally in the news. But I guess yeah. Before I ask you specific questions, Matt, I guess just what are your thoughts on the matter?
Like what you said, it's kind of like the term "nothing burger," like you said. It's like, oh yeah, Giannis might get traded by the deadline or this offseason. Like we kind of already heard at this offseason that he was thinking about being traded, or he's doing all he can to not use the term demand a trade. I noticed
Yes.
it's like, oh, he's open to being traded. Oh, so I don't think Giannis is going to retire a Buck, which is probably disgusting to hear from if you're a Bucks fan. I do think he's going to get traded. However, I think it's probably going to happen this offseason. I just think there's not a lot of time to. I don't know. I think this is probably, I'm going to say this, then it'll be totally wrong. I think it's going to be more of a quiet deadline. However, there are a couple teams here. Like obviously, if you can trade for Giannis, you should. Like if you're in a win now position, like a team we're going to talk about, like the New York Knicks should try their hardest to trade for Giannis right now. This is their best shot to win a title since the '70s. This is their best shot. Is this year and next year it's going to be a way more difficult path in the East, and they have the assets to trade for him, not the draft capital, but the assets. And I know it is hard to trade for anybody, especially a guy that's going to make 60 million in the next 2 years with all the different aprons and stuff like that. So it'd be like you probably a three-team trade with a bunch of pick swaps and a bunch of contract filler players in there. But I mean, I keep hearing. I don't mean to just take
Keep going. Yeah.
all
No,
the
yeah. Keep
information,
going.
Chris, here, but
Yep.
I see teams like the Warriors. I don't really see how they could trade for him. People are saying they have the best package. I totally disagree. I see the Lakers. I don't see that happening. The Knicks, I do kind of see happening. Like I think if he gets traded, I do think it will be to the Knicks. I know he wanted to play there this offseason, allegedly. He wanted to play in New York, whether that is Brooklyn or on the Knicks. I'm seeing the Grizzlies as well. I don't see them making that trade. Um, or the Rockets, but I think it comes down to either the Warriors or the Knicks. I don't know what your thoughts are on that matter, but I think out of those two packages that I'm seeing, I think the Knicks have a better shot at getting him. However,
So
sorry, one more
yeah,
thing. I think it
go.
comes down to where he wants to get traded. I don't think it really matters to what's the best package.
Yeah, yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah, like, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but I know a lot of people also said that about Dame when back when he was on the markets, which obviously I know that's a completely different
Oh,
level cap of player, but I don't know how much that matters as far as goes for the Bucks front office. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see for sure. Yeah, the Warriors they would have to yeah, obviously they would have to include Jimmy and then make it like yeah, I think they have the most draft capital for sure. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that's the reason why people say they have the best
mm,
package, but
okay.
yeah, they don't have many assets outside of Jimmy because like it's one of those things where like they're paying Steph and Jimmy so much money and they're paying Draymond a good amount, but like not so much to where you could keep Steph, Jimmy, and then you would be I don't even know if they could do Draymond and like add like a bunch of other salaries, which I don't think that's possible. So yeah, it would have to be Jimmy, and then they couldn't add any other players because he's making too much money. And I don't know what the Warriors cap situation is, but like I'm assuming they're at least over the first apron with how much money they're paying. So and then they might even be hard capped depending on how many trades they made. So that would be tough for sure. The Knicks, yeah, we've talked about before. I don't I don't know what a Knicks package would look like. But like one thing we also forgot to mention is that apparently Giannis would want to pair up with his former teammate and champion Drew Holiday. Which obviously that was one of the best defensive backcourt front court duo between two guys. I'm sure there's a lot to do with it we can think of it that were at least great, but at the end of the day, Giannis was a defensive player of the year candidate, and Drew Holiday is the best perimeter defender of this era, probably. So it's tough to it's tough to identify a better defensive duo than that, at least in their primes. So um I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know how possible it is for a team to be able to aggregate that much money. It would be yeah, like I don't know if it would. I don't know if it would be a trade. I don't know if it would be two separate trades or if it would have to be all these trades mixed up in one. It would be kind of tough. Um, But regardless, I don't. Yeah, so I don't know I don't know what a trade package for Giannis looks like because I know that actually pull up his tweets now. Our friend Tyler over at Hoop Venue, he came up with a list of moves that make the most sense basketball wise, which obviously isn't what always works out. Give me 1 second. He said, he made a list in this. Yeah, I know the Suns were on that list. Give me, so he said Suns number one, which I thought was interesting. I guess it was because yeah, I know they don't have many assets, but I guess you would just pair up. The idea of pairing up Giannis with Booker is insane, and then they also have like the deep bench as well. The Hornets somehow number two. I don't know. Yeah, I wish we had him on to explain himself, but the Pacers with Halliburton would be disgusting. But I don't see the Pacers and the Bucks making any moves like that. The Spurs number four, the Warriors number five, the Bulls number six, and Miami number seven. I actually think the Miami is very clearly number third on the list. I think they have a better argument. Yeah, like I think it'll be come down to one of those three teams: Golden State, New York, or Miami. Which at at the end of the day, it's those moves are tough to make. But a duo, a backcourt, front court defensive duo of Bam and Giannis. All I'm saying is like if you want to beat those teams, you need to have a lot of 3-point shooters because you're not going to be scoring a lot of points in the paint during against a duo like that.
So I know they said Bam is probably untouchable in the
Right.
trade.
Mhm.
So who's like the front line of that deal? Is it Tyler Hero, like
Hero slash
Khalil Ware?
Andor Wiggins, Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, and I don't even know how many draft picks they have. Did they make it? Did they make a big trade recently? Yeah, they got one. They got the one pick from in the
From
Butler
the
trade,
Butler deal, yeah.
but I don't. Yeah, I don't know what other trades they would have made to either give away or obtain any draft capital. So yeah, they don't
Yeah,
have many picks for sure.
I don't know
But
if this is just
yeah,
like like me hating or like I'm not being fair to the Heat, but I don't like I keep seeing the Heat get brought up, and I guess that's like every free agent and every big
right.
trade, like the
Yeah.
Heat
Mhm.
are thrown in there, and obviously it's a very attractive destination to play in Miami. But I don't know, I just don't see their like like I said, unless Giannis is like I want to play in Miami. I don't a package that is like headlined by Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, and Nikola Jovic. I don't really see that. That doesn't really move me. I don't know if it would move the Bucks front office though.
Yeah, I don't know if it would either.
Chris, I
And
have seen another team. Sorry, I totally keep
sure,
cutting
go
you
ahead. Yeah,
off.
yeah. Keep going. Yeah.
Another team that I saw was the Minnesota Timberwolves, which is very
That's right.
interesting
Yeah, that is right. Yeah, yeah. They're
because
definitely much.
they are paying a couple guys more than they probably should.
Mhm.
Um, so I mean, I think that deal could happen. I mean, Anthony Edwards Giannis duo would be very exciting, and I think some of their problems. I mean, obviously, you trade for Giannis, a lot of your problems go away. But the Wolves are kind of in a weird spot where they're one of the top teams in the West, but a lot of people don't consider themselves serious contenders yet. And I think if you get Giannis, you automatically become a serious contender, especially if you're trading for him if you're a playoff team.
Sure. I'm just interested to see what would like what would go on in that deal because I don't know if Rudy Gobert would be in the center of that. Because like obviously they're paying him max money, so I'm assuming that it would either be. I'm assuming it would be Nas Reed and Julius Randle alongside
hmm
probably Rob Dillingham. If yeah, I know that's a pretty steep package, but I feel like in a way that they can offer the most there. Um, the spacing would be gross, but however, the defense, the deep again, like yeah, like I mentioned Giannis and Bam. I think that Giannis and Gobert is that on steroids. So that would be yeah, that would be a killer defensive duo with alongside Giannis and Bam. Sorry, Giannis and Ants just anchoring the offense. So yeah, but do you think any team should trade for Giannis at the deadline? Because I don't know how much how many teams can compete as of today. Yeah, I feel like we did this last time, but
I will
if
say, I know I brought them up earlier. If I'm the New York Knicks, I'm trying to trade for Giannis
yes,
before the deadline. I'm not waiting
mhm,
until the offseason. I mean, I do think the Knicks could come out of the East still. I
yeah,
don't. I think there's a couple teams in the West that are better than them that could beat them, like the Thunder. I think the Spurs are better than them. The Nuggets, I think, would be a tough matchup for them. Um, but even then, like I do think they're one of the top teams in the league, and they have been. They were on a little bit of a skid to start the year. I think they were I want to say 11-13 to start the year or something like that.
Mhm.
Or not to start the year, but since December.
Yeah.
But they won 4 straight. And they sit second in the East right now. They're 29-18. But I think this core is so close to being a championship core. Um, you kind of have 2 years of showing that they're a contender, a very good team, but they fell short last year, and this year they did go on a big skid where they were playing very, very horribly. And I think if you could get the second best player in the league, while these guys are still pretty valued pretty high, I think you do that. I think you trade a Karl Anthony Towns and a Mikal Bridges and maybe somebody else like a Mitchell Robinson or Deuce McBride. And I don't know what picks they have because of the Mikal Bridges trade. I know they have a couple second rounders and a couple pick swaps and stuff like that. If you
They have
could,
like I think they have like one first round pick to offer, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, maybe you offer that, and it's like probably going to be a 3-team trade with another team.
Yeah.
And then you trade a couple of bench guys like a Jordan Clarkson or Yabusele. I don't know if the Bucks just scoff at that offer, but I don't know. I don't know if Giannis's value is higher now or it will be at the end of the offseason. I think with his injury
That's a great
concerns,
that's a great question. Yeah.
I think with his injury concerns, it could be highest now, especially
Right. Yeah.
if you're the Knicks. Giannis is valued the highest right now because this is your year to win. Even
Yes,
though next
exactly.
year if you run it back, you will have a shot to win again. Obviously, they're a top 3 team in the East, even with everyone healthy, I think. But this is like their shot, I think. Um, so I think they should go for it now.
Definitely agree. And yeah, yeah, like they're like one of the only teams in the league where I feel like you have to go for it now. Every other team, like the Pistons, you're the 1 seed, so as much as you can say, oh, windows always appear always closer or always like smaller than they appear, which is definitely true. But I think that's different with the Pistons because they're not really paying anyone money outside of Cade.
They're very
And
young
you get
too.
they're very young. Yeah, this is Bickerstaff's second year coaching and second year of doing better than expected. So yeah, his job is safe for at least 2-3 years. Actually, I don't know that's true actually because with the NBA, but
And
um,
and would the Bucks trade in division? Like I know divisions don't really
I
matter
would
that
be
much,
very
but
no, yeah,
I know
yes.
it's more conference, but still.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone else really in the East outside of the Pistons and the Knicks, and I guess probably the Celtics. Yeah, yeah, like the Pistons and the Knicks and the Celtics. Those, I guess, the only teams that that have potential come out of the East. And I guess probably I feel like I'm missing someone. Like I don't know. Yeah, I was thinking maybe even the Sixers at this point they're playing pretty good basketball, but um,
That's another team that's been brought up with Giannis.
has it been? I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, the Sixers. It was like I mean, Giannis is literally has been reported to be interested to play with everybody, but
Right? Yeah,
it was like Giannis is interested in teaming up with Maxi. Um,
it's a cool duo. Yeah,
yeah, I think that would be more draft capital and a couple big those one of
salaries.
those two
Yeah, for
big
sure.
contracts to get off of them.
Yeah, that would make sense. And then the West, the West is a plethora of teams that I think can compete. Obviously, the Thunder, the Spurs, the Nuggets, the Rockets are I think are off that list now. So maybe I don't know. I don't know what their deal is. Obviously, um, Van Vliet and Adams are out, so I think I think their chances of winning the finals was like 5%. I think it's at like 2% now. Unfortunately, as much as I love KD and Upper and Shangun, yeah, it's not looking likely. Um, but yeah, I'm very curious to see what exactly each team's headline is, like whatever like what GM advisor meeting is saying. Okay, listen, do we check? Okay, yeah, like do we check it on Giannis? Do we build a trade package and see what they start see if what we start at? If they ask for too much more, we'll hang up the phone. I feel like that's like most teams meetings now. Obviously the teams that are like tanking aren't in like that, and I doubt like teams that are not even that are either contending or about to be contending, like the Celtics or the Pacers. Like, I'm sure they're sitting in their meeting saying, okay, 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 like unless like given the secondary run, like unless like they offers us like a fleece deal, we're not going to take anything. But yeah, so yeah, obviously, like everyone says, oh, 29 out of 30 teams should be in on Giannis, which is true, but the reality is that like most teams, it doesn't make sense for 29 out of 30 teams to trade for Giannis.
I have a couple of
So
trade packages here
okay,
about the Timberwolves that
okay,
we discussed earlier.
yeah,
Um, so this one is kind of what we said earlier. It's Julius Randle is the main deal.
Okay.
Rob Dillingham, and then Jaden McDaniels, who's making
Jay McDaniels. Okay.
84 million over the next 3 years.
Right. Okay.
Um,
Think
and
if they can
then
hold on to both, if they can hold on to both Nas and Gobert during this deal, that'd be a big plus for them.
they would get Giannis and Torian Prince, and then the next one, which I'm assuming is more likely, because I think they're going to ship Giannis around and get a good deal. The Timberwolves would get Giannis and Cole Anthony, and then the Bucks trade. Sorry, Timberwolves trade. The Bucks get Gobert, DiVincenzo, Dillingham, Terrence Shannon Jr., and then
Ooh,
3 first rounders, which is 2026, 2028, and
tough.
2030.
That is tough, but I'd probably do that too if I were the Wolves. I don't, yeah, like, I think I'd rather do the first one, but yeah, like I'd probably do the second one too.
I would do both if I was the Wolves.
Yeah.
And then one more, sorry.
Mhm.
Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid, Mike Conley, and Rob Dillingham for Giannis, Torian Prince, and Cole Anthony. I think
Sure. That.
there's going to have to be a first round pick at least in this trade.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Um, so that would be a tough trade for the Wolves to give up both McDaniels and Reed. But then again, you keep Gobert for the Gobert Giannis front court. Um, I don't know. I know it's easier said than done, especially when it's not your favorite team and you don't watch these guys every night. To be like, yeah, they should totally do that trade. Um, but a lot of these Wolves trades, the Wolves package is pretty appealing in my opinion. They got a lot of tradable contracts, and if Giannis is interested in playing with Anthony Edwards, it's a pretty attractive destination for him.
Couldn't agree more. And yeah, doesn't move much either. Unless that's part of the reason why he wants to move. Like, yeah, he doesn't want to be in the cold weather, but if you can be in the cold weather, you might as well play with Anthony Edwards. So, um, yeah, very interested to see what the package is going to look like, if there is one. But if you were to ask me today, January 29th, I would say that Giannis will remain a Buck after the trade deadline. Probably should have. Yeah, maybe we'll have Jacob Bloomberg on next week to see what he thinks about this, regardless of
Nice.
what happens. Yeah. So yeah, I got to text him.
Now, Chris, you think as of January 29th, Giannis will be a Buck come June of this year? Will Giannis be wearing a
I
Bucks
think
jersey
in
next October?
in October, I don't think so. I
I
think
agree.
that I don't know if it's gonna be as quick as the KD trade where they traded him literally the day of Game 7 of the NBA Finals, but I'm thinking like January 28th is. Oh, sorry, June 28th. I think we'll see a trade something like that. So yeah, yeah. Well, actually, maybe we'll go back and clip this June 28th. I think the Giannis will be traded, but
June 28th, you have a time?
hmm, say 9:57 p.m.
A
Yeah,
little
yeah,
late deal.
yeah, a lot. Yeah, a lot of the moves lately have been night deals. The KD one was during the day. The Luka one was obviously after midnight. Yeah, the KD to the Suns one was like 3 a.m. The Harden to the Clippers one was like 2 a.m. probably. I think maybe it was a little bit earlier than that, like 1 a.m. maybe. I feel like there's definitely a couple more that I can think of that were during the day. But I'm just listing off the night deals that I know of. Marcus Smart traded at like midnight. It was before midnight actually. It was because it was like the deadline deal they had to beat. So it was like 11:58, I think. Yeah, but yeah, I love me some late night deals. But if we could do them in the
Anthony
evening, but
Simon's deal was late night.
it was. That's right. Yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah. So if we could do like not too late, but late enough to where we could do an emergency pod while not losing too much sleep, that would be the most ideal situation. But yeah, or during the pod. Um, so I think that's enough Giannis talk for now. So let's talk about the thing that the other thing that annoys us the most, and that's anytime that Jason Tatum is ever brought up ever on Twitter, which is going to come up, of course, when Jason Tatum goes on the podcast that Ryan Clark hosts. I don't know what that's called. But in that experience, Jason Tatum talked about his experience in the Olympics and how it was a little tough for him, given that he wasn't really playing a lot. He talked about how he is just a little. He didn't mention his concerns, but he did say how he thinks about how he's afraid that um not that he's afraid, but like he mentioned about like how he's thought about how much he's gonna have to dive into playing his role as Jason Tatum for when they come back. He's saying, okay, my guys are playing really good now. I don't want to screw things up. Um and like I think that's typical good teammate talk is making sure that you're saying like, okay, my guys are playing good, and I want to make sure that I dip my toes in, and then I just like ease into my role rather than completely just like invading this team, not really invading because it's his team at the end of the day, but like kind of just like jumping into a situation and thinking that everything's going to be all right. um and if any other normal person says this, like if this was like I shouldn't say any other athlete because there are definitely some athletes that like if LeBron said this, I'm sure like, obviously Skip Bayless and Chris Russo would obviously say a lot about it, but like I feel like most teammates, like most guys, like on like a Steph Curry or a um I'm trying to think of like Durant would get criticized too, but like, like a Steph Curry or a Donovan
Anthony
Mitchell,
Edwards.
Jalen Brunson. I feel like those guys wouldn't get criticized like a lot if they were saying stuff like this. But since it's Jason Tatum, and I shouldn't even say this because he's not getting criticized by ESPN. He's getting criticized by the own Boston media. They're like I don't even know I don't even know the words they were using. I think but they were just because they were so outrageous that they were using the words to describe him. But they're basically just saying you always too insecure and everything like that. But the reason that they're bringing this up also is because last night's whatever time it was, I'm doing my fact checking right now. At 11:08, Chris Haynes reported on whatever show he's on The Athletic, with Robin Lopez standing right next to him. So sources: Boston star Jason Tatum, Achilles recovery is reevaluating his situation and is now considering sitting out for the entire 25-26 season. Final decision has yet to be determined. Which again, same thing as Shams. This is nothing that we've this is I feel like this is nothing new. Like obviously we've known from the beginning that Tatum wants to he really wants to come back. Um I don't know if something happened to where like he wants to be a little more cautious now, but or if it's just again like it's like a situation where like like we're phrasing things differently, but like nothing's really changed. Um, but yeah, like I'm doing a lot of whining. So yeah, Matt, what are your takeaways on this?
Yeah, I mean, the quote that you were talking about earlier about him saying like the team when I come back, they're gonna have already have played 50 to 60 odd games. And granted, a lot of the guys have returned from previous years and have played with Tatum, but there's a lot of new faces on the Celtics
Yeah.
roster that even, at the level that Tatum plays at, a top five player in the league, it will take a while for like people to adjust with playing with him. Um and also like if you look at Tatum's like calves right now, like you could tell like what Achilles tendon that he tore. Like
Yeah.
it's a very serious injury. Obviously, it's probably the most career altering injury in sports. Um, However, we know that he wanted to play this year. He's been saying that all off season, all this season. And on Twitter the other day, Drew Hanlon, his trainer, hinted that he's been playing 3-on-3 and 4-on-4 behind the scenes, which I'm sure he has. I just want him to whatever he if he's going to come back, I want him to be 100% confident that he's at his
Yes.
fully healthy 100% self. Because if he's not, like if he's at even if he's at like 90%, I don't see it being worth it to play this season. Because guess what? You don't play this season, Celtics lose in the second round or whatever. You come back and you're 29 years old before you pick up another basketball. You're 28 years old before you play another game in the NBA. Um, I think you live with that. And I think like you take the KD route where you just sit out fully for a year, fully recover, and then come back and you're almost the exact same player you were before you got injured. I think that's probably the smarter decision. But I mean, he knows better than anybody if he could return this year if he's fully healthy. Um, and about the Chris Haynes story, like he just said something that we already knew all year. It's like he could return, he could not. Like awesome. Like there's just zero sources or zero substance behind that story.
Yeah, 100% agree. And yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird thoughts around how like I'm gonna bring in the Boston media again. I'm not gonna mention them by names, but yeah, just like just like going along the route of like oh, why is Tatum saying this, and like Shouldn't he be all in, and shouldn't he not be too insecure? Dude, like, you don't know what's going on in his mind. Like, yeah, like, and it's only human nature at the end of the day. Like, as much as we love the idea that all athletes are superstars and they don't scroll on Twitter every day. The fact of the matter is Jason Tatum is Gen Z as well. So I'm sure that he spends some time on Twitter as well. Obviously not as much as we do, but like
Mhm.
but just taking a look at social media it could not be a fun time, especially when you're Jason Tatum and you see some Boston fans. I'm putting in quotes because just because like if you're talking this way about Jason Tatum, then I don't think you're a true fan. Um, but yeah, it's just a whole lot of nonsense, and I think everyone agrees with it at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's just the argument thing is it was semantics. Everyone agrees that Jason Tatum, most people agree that Jason Tatum wants to come back. But however, they want him to be healthy. They don't want him to rush back into it. But however, they also want the idea of him being 100% healthy back early. So, if that's the case, awesome. If it's not the case, oh well. So, I don't, yeah, like, so I don't know what the deal is here. But regardless, Tatum, take your time, but take your time, but hurry up. We're very, very eager to have you come back soon, but also health comes first. And at the end of the day, yeah, like as much as we love the idea of Tatum coming back and the Celtics going on this big run with him, which I'm not saying is unlikely, but however, Celtics are currently sitting at 29-18, so they do have to go 11-1 in the next 12 games if they do want to surpass the 40-20 rule, which based on the way they've been playing lately, hasn't really been. It's not really looking like that's going to happen, but oh well. At the end of the day. Um, So, so I think that's it for Tatum. Next up, I saw this from I think it's called the Worst Take podcast. They did a draft of they spun a wheel. I don't even know if they spun a wheel. I think they just did a player generator. Of their of just all these all time great NBA players, and then they would and then like yes, so like they were like draft an NBA player, and then like say the name Michael Jordan comes up, you can draft any player that Michael Jordan has ever played with at his peak. So he was playing with Scottie Pippen at his peak, so that yeah, so like that would be the logical pick. But however, if you drafted a different player, say you drafted LeBron James, the right pick, obviously Dwayne Wade was in his prime when he was playing with LeBron, but however, the best pick would be Shaquille O'Neal there because even though he wasn't in his prime, like the idea of this game is drafting players for in their prime. So what I did what I did was I copy and pasted my top 50 players of all time and attached them to spinning the wheel. Um, However, for Matt's sake, not for Matt's sake, for my sake too, I eliminated George Mikan and Bob Pettit. Um,
You
because
could
I
say
feel
for
like
my sake. You don't have to lie. It's just for my sake.
no, I don't know of many of George Mikan's or Bob Pettit's teammates. I'll be honest, but
Okay, good. That makes me feel
yeah.
better.
So yeah, but yeah, I did add Luca and Shane instead because those are my 51st and 52nd best players of all time. So um, I'm not going to spin the wheel just for the two of us, but so yeah, I'll let you go first, and we'll do let's do six players. And we'll do six
Oh,
players, and then
so we spin, get the player, and then like let's say I get LeBron and I pick Shaq, then we like you would spin, get a player, then do that, or would you
yeah.
have LeBron as well?
Oh, what do you want to do?
I don't know. Because what
I
I've
say we
seen
do.
people do on TikTok, they get teams and they do it, but I know it's a
Yeah.
little different.
Yeah. So I say we do one spin per player. Yeah, I feel like that makes more sense for this game.
Yeah.
Really wish there weren't too many ads playing, but okay. Oh, there we go. Got rid of them. Okay. So yeah, you'll go first with the first pick in the NBA teammates drafts. Matt's teammates. That's to pick a teammate of. It's gonna be the same player regardless, but Kawhi. I'm assuming, but Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi. All right. I'm going to take, in my opinion, the best power forward of all time and take Tim Duncan.
Easy pick for sure. Shout out to Chilltown. By the way, check out one fan. Sorry, check out Flu and First Chill versus everyone. Our first episode aired yesterday. It was an awesome time. Yeah, like yeah, the format's a lot of fun. I was a little nervous about it at first, but it's a lot of fun. And then also be sure to check on like the next month or so. Shelltown was on one fan versus 10 haters, like I was with Tyler a few weeks ago, and he was defending Tim Duncan. Obviously, I'm sure if you follow NBA Twitter or TikTok, you know you have no idea how good Tim Duncan was story. So finally, Shelltown had the opportunity to defend Shelltown against 10 haters. So with my first pick, who the hell is Dolph Shays' teammates? Oh crap. Oh, I shouldn't have done this. Okay.
You want me to look them up?
No. I'll take care of it. Okay. This is so embarrassing.
It's okay. You don't know the Syracuse Nationals in the 1949.
I will take Hal Greer. He's the all-time leading scorer for the Philadelphia 76ers. So, and I believe a top 10, 15 shooting guard all time. So it's not as bad as I thought it was. And I'll go with my second pick then too. I will take the best teammates of. Damn it. I was hoping for the best teammate. Clyde Drexler would have gone with Hakeem Olajuwon, obviously, but I'm going to go with Willis Reed. I'm going to go with another old timer. I'm going to go with Walt Frazier.
Nice.
All right, Matt's your next two picks. James
Harden. All right, I am going to take. Yeah, I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to take Kevin Durant.
Could have gone with either KD or Kawhi there for sure. And yeah, I think you made the right pick.
Oh, Kawhi, yeah. Yeah. I would take Kevin Durant over
yeah, me
Kawhi.
too. And
I was thinking pick? I could go position, could go Chris Paul, but
oh yeah, that would have been a good pick too. Speaking of Chris Paul,
nice.
It's your pick, I think.
Oh, it's my pick.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna take Steph Curry.
Shit, damn it! Oh my god, I forgot about that. I for sure thought you were gonna say Harden.
No, Steph Curry.
Yeah, that is the right
pick. My team is nice.
Yeah, your team is very nice. Oh. Come on. Okay. I'll take Charles Barkley.
Okay, yeah, that's the right call.
I was gonna say Clyde Drexler, but but Barkley's obviously the better player, even if it's weird position wise. But yeah. Okay. Next one, Oscar Robertson. I'll go with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I thought that was me. I got very excited.
Okay.
Bob Cousy. All right, I'm going to take one of the best defenders of all time, Bill Russell. So KD, Duncan, Russell.
So all top 15 players so far in your first 4 players. That's wonderful. So
Magic Johnson. So since you took Kareem, I can't take Kareem, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
I guess that would make sense. I'm trying to think if I should go two. I should probably go shooting guard here, right?
I guess so.
And are we doing bench or no?
Yeah, we were doing at least 1 6 man. Do you want to keep going though? Or do you want to make it? Do you want to make it 10, or do you want to make it?
No, 1 6 man's good. I'm trying to think who's the best shooting guard that Johnson played with, or should I go like?
I would probably go with the small forward. I mean, make it a long lineup, but obviously it's your choice.
Am I not thinking of somebody?
Who the small forward is, or who the shooting guard is?
Yeah, who the small forward is?
Well, the small forward is James Worthy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll take James Worthy then.
Okay, so with my last 2 picks, my 5th pick, I'm going to take a teammates of Larry Bird. So I got a center and a power forward. I got a point guard and a shooting guard. Do I go with the? I've never played with Havlicek, so go with the Danny Ainge, or do I go with Kevin McHale? I'm gonna go with Kevin McHale.
Yeah, I think that's the right choice.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kevin McHale and then see if I can get a small forward with my next pick. Hopefully, I can, but we'll see. So Sean Kemp he was more of a center. He was a power forward, I think, actually. Who was the small forward on those?
Take another shooting guard.
Another shooting guard. Oh my God, you're being too nice, but yes, I will take another shooting guard here. I will take Kobe Bean Bryant.
Oh, I forgot he was in the Lakers. I was talking about Wade, but yeah, that's definitely a better pick.
Yeah. All right, and your last pick. All right, great way to finish.
Jason Tatum. Trying to think if there are any old heads he played with.
Yeah, I was thinking of that too.
At the end, I mean, it's between three guys in my opinion. I'm going to go with Jaylen Brown.
Okay, who are the other two that you're thinking of?
Kyrie or Al.
Okay, yeah, those are the other two picks. Another good one you could have gone with actually is Joe Johnson.
Oh, true.
That would have been hilarious. Was it?
Blake Griffin.
Oh, that would have been a good one. That would have been a good one too.
Yeah, I guess it was between Al or Brown.
Yeah. Blake Griffin probably would have been a better pick than Al, but however, I think Jaylen Brown definitely fits your team better, especially because you running on the shooting guard. But yeah, your team kicks my team's ass without a doubt because I went with Hal Greer and Walt Frazier with my first two picks. But
hey, respect. Respect Walt Clyde Frazier.
Of course, 100%. But we kind of made up for it by drafting both Kareem and Kobe. Both
Chris, you should have drafted over Kobe. You should have drafted Paul Pierce.
Gary Payton?
Gary Payton, yeah, he was on the 04 Celtics, right?
Was he on the 04 Celtics? Maybe he was for a few games. Yeah, I feel like he was. Now that you say that out loud, but
he was on the Celtics. Yeah, he was on the Celtics for that season.
All right, cool. Yeah, so yeah, we'll definitely do this again for sure.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, we'll do it when John gets here another day. We'll definitely do it when Matt McCann here gets on the pod again because yeah, he would definitely love the shit. So, I don't know. I'm definitely not going to post a graphic for this because I know for a fact. But okay, actually, I might do it just for fun because everyone just so
you can put like the guy whose teammate it was too, just so
right. That would definitely make most sense.
Just so it doesn't look like it's a draft, and
it's like an actual draft. Yes. Yeah, that would not be good. All right, cool. So I think that's it for today. Yeah. Like obviously, we started a little late and we're ending right around time, a little bit early, but that's okay. Matt, always a pleasure having you on. The reason why I was checking on is because my mom just got one of those Google photo things, got one of those wholesome Google photo things and sent it in. It was a picture of all of us through the years, so very nice. Matt, always a pleasure having you on. Next week we got a big show next week. Actually, we're gonna be doing our all-star drafts, and we're also going to be breaking down all the trades at the trade deadline. Yeah, one of the great things of having a show on Thursdays, it's a lot of great things with like the all-star announcements. It used to be the all-star announcement, but now it's the trade deadline. So that'll
we'll
be
awesome discussing Anthony Simons and a first for Zubac next Thursday.
I would have loved that, but. Yeah, maybe we should have offered that deal when he was on that hot streak. Maybe it's
I think the Clippers declined that, or it was like
well, they did decline it like when his value was here, but like they declined it when the Clippers stunk. So I don't know what their deal is now. I don't know if they if they were smart,
they're hot. The Clippers,
they're very hot, but like but like
I think they won 5 straight.
Well, like I think they're 21-5 since they released CP3, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that.
Yeah.
But. Is he going to get traded too? Yeah, like, is any team going to take him? Like, if any team would take him, I would think maybe the Thunder or the Spurs, but I don't know. Maybe they trade like a second round pick for him.
Yeah, they're 9-1 in the last 10.
Good for them. I'm not. every year I say I'm not going to fall for it, but like, I think this is real. I think this is real. I'm saying I'm not going to fall for it. Like I think I've officially moved on from that chapter of my life of being. I still love Kawhi Leonard. I still think he's an awesome player when healthy. But however, I'm not buying for it this time around. Although actually, I will say last year with my Clippers pick, I do think that I think that they were a tough matchup for the Nuggets, given that Zubac had to take up a lot of his time on Jokic rather than anchoring the full defense. I think they would have beaten anyone not named the Nuggets or the Thunder, even though I had them beating the Thunder. I think they matched up well the Thunder, but
I mean, they the team they lost to in 7 was banged up and lost to the Thunder in 7. It's a lot of
that's
ifs,
right.
but that would have
Yeah,
been a good
yeah,
matchup.
definitely a lot of ifs. So yes, so yeah, like maybe I might have them win a series depending on who they match up with, but like regardless, I'm definitely not going to have them going a far playoff run. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, yeah, next week, yeah, trade deadline and all-star drafts. We do the all-star draft the week after that, actually. We might do the all-star draft the week after because the all-star draft is that weekend. So I think that even though the reserves are announced on Monday, I still think we'll do the drafts on Thursday the 12th. That seems like it makes the most sense. So maybe, and it definitely does make sense, especially if we're going to have Jacob on, which I don't even know if he's going to come on. I just came up with that now. Yeah. So next week, NBA trade deadline takeaways. Week after that, NBA all-star draft. So look at us. We're actually planning things out for the podcast rather than me texting on Thursday morning. Hey, you guys want to come on tonight? So yeah, good for me.
We're
But
moving up.
yes, we are. Yeah, this has been another episode of the All American Hoops podcast. Be sure to follow me on all social media platforms at All American Hooper on Twitter on TikTok and on Instagram at American Hooper on Twitter. Be sure to check out my additional content on Wednesday nights. It is no longer called NBA Max. It is now, as I mentioned, Fluence versus Chill versus everyone. It was awesome last night. Jalen Carter and I were moderating debates for Tony's from Tony Sports Fluence and Chilltown. You guys know them. They're awesome. And in the next and I think next week they're gonna start tagging us in for some of these debates. So it's gonna be a lot of fun for sure. Be sure to check out my column. I haven't really written anything in the past. Like last weekend, I had my Hall of Fame article. I'm definitely going to start writing more hoops soon. But yeah, things are trying to heat up around the NBA, and so are things around All American Hoops. This has been another episode of the All American Hoops podcast. I'm Chris Driscoll. Until next time, keep grinding and stay hooping. Have a great night.